Hey guys, and welcome to Vanguard Tactics. We have an epic battle report lined up for you today. We have the almighty Blood Angels, led by the Sanguinor himself. And then we also have the Tau Empire, led by the one and only Shadow Sun. This is a 2,000 point Strike Force competitive battle report overview, so stay tuned to see how this battle report unfolds. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Stephen Box, and if you love our battle reports and our videos, remember, please give this video a like, subscribe, and turn on that bell icon to make sure you get notified every single time we release a battle report. Now, as I mentioned, this is a 2,000 point game. We're using the new battle size, new 9th edition rules, and also the mission from the GT book. We've got the Tau versus the Blood Angels, and we're going to be taking you through the armies, the secondary picks, the mission, and absolutely everything. We're going to show you turn by turn exactly what happens, and also a really in-depth game analysis. So we really hope you learn an incredible amount from this style of battle reports. So grab a coffee, and for the next 90 minutes, stay tuned as we unravel this battle report. Now remember, we do things a little bit differently on VT. Now we're going to show you one army going first in this battle report, but if you want more of this content and you want to see what happens when the other army goes first, that is going to be on our channel called VT+. And if there's a way that you want to support the channel, we don't do Patreon or anything like that. If you want to support the channel, then signing up for VT Plus is definitely one way to support us grow and bring you guys more battle reports. The other thing that we're going to give you on VT Plus is also a very, very in-depth review of exactly why we've taken every single unit, warlord trait, and weapon combination, so it can really unravel some of the tactics behind these lists. If you want to see the list, then there is a link below in the description. All you need to do is click. You'll be able to download that army list. And then the other thing that we show you on VT Plus is exactly why we deployed in the way that we have. So we don't know if we're going first or second, so we've deployed in such a way that no matter whether we do go first or second, we're going to be set up for hopefully success, and we're never going to feel like we're on the back foot. So you want a really in-depth review of how to deploy, then VT Plus is all over there. So anyway, like I said, if you want to support the channel, that's the place to go, and I really, really hope you enjoy this battle report. Hey guys, Stephen here again, but today I get to use my favourite, the Blood Angels. You guys have asked for it, so we're going to deliver this epic clash of me running my new 9th edition Blood Angels after the success I had in 8th edition with them, with a couple of GT wins and some good ranking placings. Let's see if I can do the damage with them today. Now I'm actually going to be running some of the new units along with some of the new stuff that we got from War of the Spiders. So this is a very interesting and quite toolboxy list, I think, for the Blood Angels, and hopefully I can beat Jack with his Tau.
Hi, I'm Jack. I've been part of the VT team for a couple of years now. And today I'll be playing the Tau. I really like the Tau because it's absolutely horrible firepower on a really resilient, durable base, and it's got some good mobility aspects to it. I've been playing them for the last couple of years, really got my teeth into the game across 8th edition and the ITC style format, so really enjoying this transition across to 9th edition as well as the 9th edition GT mission pack. So today I'm up against the Blood Angels, which is a really interesting matchup because the army styles are complete polar opposites. I want to stay out of combat, and the Blood Angels want well and truly get stuck in. So there's going to be a little bit of cat and mouse throughout the game, I predict. So it should be a really interesting matchup. We've played this matchup a few times, and it's been very close each time. So last time me and Steve paired off with these armies, he just got a narrow win and claimed victory at the tournament that we're in. So today is payback, and I'm going to get a convincing win. Today I'm just a single battalion detachment, all of Tau Sept. Benefit provides a 5-up Overwatch bubble, so great good ability kicks in for all Tau units, so I don't have to spend the CP to Overwatch, and all my units, if they were in 6 of us, another unit will Overwatch on 5s. Yes. I start the game with 11. 11, okay. And I've paid for an additional relic.
Okay, cool. So yeah, talk us through your HQ slots.
Okay, so I've got the Ethereal down here, who's the Warlord. His Warlord trait is through Unity Devastation. So how that Warlord trait works is that he can pick an enemy unit that's visible to him, and everyone within 6 of him, on a wound roll of a 6, gains an additional AP. So that's him. He's also got Relic, the Pure Tide Engram chip, which is a CP farm. When me or my opponent uses a stratagem on a 6+, I gain 1. The Commander Shadow Sun, absolute beast herself. It's I really like the model for a start, and the data sheet that she gained in Greater Good is a full page. She's got plenty of good rules. So troops have got 3 identical units of Fire Warriors. Each come with a 2-man marker drone in each. Elites, I've got 1 unit of Stealth Teams with just burst cannons, no extra upgrades on them, and they come with 2 gun drones. And then for the next elites, it's the Riptides. So everyone's favourite, the Triptide. I've got 2 identical with the heavy burst cannon, smart missile systems, ATS for the additional AP to all weaponry, and counter defense system, which allows me to re-roll all hits in Overwatch. And then the final Riptide is he's got my additional relic, which is the amplified ion accelerator, and smart missile systems. He's got velocity tracker for +1 hit against fly, and he's got drone controller to get the marker drones to hit on 4s. So that's all the elites. Fast attack. So I'll start with the 2 units of piranhas. So these are.
Is this 1 unit of?
It's 1 unit. Sorry.
1 unit of 2 piranhas. Yeah.
Yeah. 1 unit of 2 piranhas. Really quick. Light skimmers, so they move 16 inches. They've got a burst cannon on there each. They're pretty squishy. Only toughness 5 or 4 up save and 6 wounds. But it's that early game presence and getting engaged in all fronts, for example. Bit of move blocking, like you use that unit for. And the good thing about them, they both come with 2 gun drones each. The next 2 units of my fast attack are the Pathfinders here.
Yep.
They're both identically equipped. So the Pathfinders each come with a marker light, each and a Pops carbine, and they're equipped with a gun drone and a grav inhibitor drone. Heavy support, I've got a unit of 2 broadsides stacked out with missiles.
Okay.
So they're both identically equipped with high yield missiles and smart missile systems. The high yield missiles are 8 shots at strength 7, -2 D3 damage, and then the shoulder SMS is strength 8, -1, ignoring cover.
Right guys, let me talk you through this Blood Angel list, and for the full description, all you need to do is check out in the description below. There will be a link so you can grab both the lists that myself and Jack are using. Now this is 1 detachment, it's 1,994 points, and I'm starting the game with 10 CPs. I spend 1 CP for an extra Warlord trait and an extra CP for an extra relic. I then am also taking, first of all, in the non-described section, I have got a Calexis Assassin. That is what I'm going to pick for this game. I can spend 2 CPs and change it if I want. And then we've got, for HQs, I've got 3 HQs. The first one is Ashtaroth. Now, Ashtaroth is one of the best chaplains in the game. He knows all the litanies pretty much. So he's given me +2 charge, reroll misses, and also exploding 6s. So that is absolutely fantastic that he's got such a toolbox role in the list. I've then got a Librarian, and this Librarian is in Phobos armor, and he has also been given the 1 CP for the additional Warlord trait. He's also got the extra Relic, so the extra Warlord trait I'm taking is from the Obscuration discipline, which is Lord of Deceit, so I can redeploy 3 Phobos units, and you'll see why that is important later on in the game. And then also the extra Relic is for the ability to re-roll any of the dice on the charge, which I found really, really useful with Blood Angels. Then we've also got the Sanguinor, and the Sanguinor is an absolute beat stick and also gives +1 attack to all of my units within 6 inches. So for troops, I've got 2 units of Incursors, no upgrades, they've just got their paired knives, and then I've got 2 units of Scouts. 1 unit of Scouts has got bolt guns and also camo cloaks because I had some spare points, and the other unit is just got blades and also pistols. Then for the elites, I've got my Warlord, which is the Sanguinary Ancient, and he has the banner and the Standard of Sacrifice. Him now being a Warlord, and his Warlord trait gives everybody the ability to be fearless, which is brilliant, and then also the fact that he gives everybody a 5+ feel no pain where they're within 6 inches of him. Then in the Elites detachment, I've also got 10 Death Company, 5 of which have got Thunder Hammers, the rest have just got a Chainsword and a Bolt Pistol, and they've all got jump packs. I then have 1 unit of Sanguinary Guard. 1 unit has 8 axes and also death masks, which you have to take now. And then also the other unit has 4 swords and 4 power fists in a total of 8-man units. Then for the fast attack, I've got 2 3-man unit of the new Outriders from Indomitus, and let's see what they can do on the battlefield today. My normal list actually includes 3 units of Sanguinary Guard, so actually making this subtle change is to see if it gives me a little bit more mobility on the tabletop. So let's see if it all pans out.
So today my secondaries are engaged on all fronts. The reason I've taken this one is I've got quite a bit of small, fast units that I can use to hopefully gain at least 3/4 of the turn. I'm aiming for 10. And maybe if I need to squeeze an extra point, I could throw an additional unit into that 3rd quarter. My second secondary is deploy scramblers. I've got 6 units of infantry in this list, and I can easily put 1 into strategic reserves to make sure I get that final one in Steve's deployment zone. And my 3rd secondary is direct assault, which is the mission specific. And on this one, you score 3 points at the end of the turn if you hold the centre objective. Again, I've got lots of MSU units. I'm hoping just to throw a unit each turn onto that objective to get those 3 points.
My secondaries for today, the first one is probably my favourite of all time. You probably can guess it. While we stand, we fight. So that is my 3 highest pointed models on the tabletop. And in this game, it will be the Collector's Assassin at 100 points, and then Ashtrath, and also the Sanguinor. So they are going to be my 3 while we stand, we fight. Now the next secondary is going to be engage in all fronts. Blood Angels have got great mobility, and all I'm going to try and do is make sure I'm in 3/4 of the table, and that will just get me 2 points per battle round. And if I can do that, then maybe in a couple of the late games get the end game score or the final quarter, then I'll pick up some more points there. And then finally, the last one is then raise the banners. Because I've got a lot of infiltrating units that can deploy outside of my deployment zone, I'm hoping to get banners up nice and early, forcing Jack to come out and try and remove them and take them away from me, which means that I'm luring Jack into a nice little trap where hopefully I can then start to charge him, wrap him, trap him, and stop him from falling back. And that's going to be the goal and the game plan for this one. Both of the armies are going to be playing on this city fight battlefield, and all of the terrain is been supplied by Foreground Publishing, and the maps by JW Wargaming. Now the terrain here, we're going to be using all of the terrain rules from GW Pack, so we're going to be getting things like the heavy terrain, light cover, obscuring, all that good stuff, and we've got ruins, and also we've got area terrain as well, which will hinder the player's movement. The table's set up in a balanced way, so it doesn't matter which way or which side you get, just to make sure we've got a really fair and even playing field. There's a lot of line of sight blocking terrain on this table, so it's going to make sure that combat armies have a nice place to hide, along with some really good firing lanes to make sure that gun lines can also do extremely well on this table as well. So the mission today, players will be playing on the mission called Sweep and Clear. And the primary objective for this one is called Take and Hold, and at the end of each player's command phase, the player whose turn it is scores 5 victory points for the following conditions. They'll score 5 if they control 1 or more objective. They'll control 2 objectives, then they'll get 10 points. And if they happen to hold more than their opponent, they'll also score an additional 5 points, which means that each player can score up to 15 points per battle round, and the primary is capped at 45 points. Players will then have to pick secondary objectives, and they can pick 3 of those, each of those maxing out at 15 for a total of 45, and both players have been awarded 10 battle points for having battle-ready armies, so a maximum score will be 100 for this game. Now for Sweep and Clear, there are 5 objectives. There's 1 placed in the centre, and then 1 objective in each quarter of the table, and each of the players will be playing in a quarter style deployment, where there is a total of 18 inches between both armies. To deploy first, and he places a unit of stealth teams outside of his deployment zone, and then also 9 inches away from my lines. I then place a unit of incursors in the middle, and Jack then places a unit of strike teams into his deployment zone in that corner, and then another unit of my incursors go down into the midfield. Jack then places his first ripside on the edge of his deployment zone. I then place a unit of scouts in the corner near his stealth teams. Then what we've got is a unit of Pathfinders along with 2 drones on the very edge of Jack's deployment zone, and then my final unit of scouts goes into my, or near my deployment zone, just outside of that ruin. Jack's next unit of Pathfinders go on the edge of his deployment zone, 9 inches away from my incursors, and then the first unit of Outriders from mine go into my deployment zone on the top left-hand side. Jack's broadsides come down to counter that, to make sure they've got good firing angles down into the middle. My next unit of Outriders go onto the right-hand side, and then my Collector's Assassin goes down, also along with Jack's next 2 Riptides, and also my Phobos Librarian goes into the middle, along next to those Incursors, with the Death Company just on the front line behind them, 14 inches away from my deployment zone. Jack's Ethereal goes down within 6 inches of those broadsides, along with a strike team to surround them as well. And then my next Sanguinary Guard unit goes down onto the left-hand side near those Outriders. I then place Ashtaroth down while Jack places down the Piranha units, and then it's me to just deploy the rest of my army with the Sanguinor, the Ancient, and also more Sanguinary Guard to go down. And all I'm trying to do is find the best position to use that obscuring terrain, and then make sure that he cannot shoot me turn 1. Now it's on to any pre-game moves once we're happy with how deployment's set up. Okay guys, so the ever important roll off. Armies are down. We're going to roll off to see who goes first. And remember, whoever doesn't go first will be going first on VT+, and all the links to VT+ are below. You ready, Jack?
Let's do it.
How are you feeling about this?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah?
I'm feeling confident.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you want first turn?
I'm not going to tell you.
Right, 3, 2, 1. I rolled a 3.
Roll a 1.
I mean, I think it'd be rude not to go first with this. With the Blood Angels, with the Bangles, but you have deployed in a way that is tempting to go second, but I'm going to have to go second on VT+ anyway. So, I'm going to go first.
Okay.
So, rarely win the roll-off. Going to take full advantage.
We got a roll-off pre-games?
Yes, so I can redeploy 3 units.
I can redeploy 2.
You can redeploy 2. I'm not going to redeploy
So I'm just crack on.
any unit, so you can do all of your movements then. Yeah, so we'll get this on the overhead. So if you want to see Jack go first and see how I have to defend going second, then head over to VT+, and that's a great way to support what we do here at Vanguard Tactics. It really means a lot to us. Now, both armies can pre-game move. Jack starts first, moving back the Pathfinders the 7 inches backwards in order to prevent as much screening as possible, leaving 18 inches between those guys and also the stealth team on the right-hand side, and then also another 18, basically trying to zone out any redeployment that I can do using upon Wings of Fire. Then I advance my Death Company as I can pre-game move using 2 CPs. With that, I'm not going to reposition the Incursors, as I do have a Phobos Librarian that's got a Warlord trait to allow me to redeploy 3 Phobos units, which I'm not going to do, but I am going to just move those Death Company forward, and I move and advance them. Then all I'm going to do is make sure I'm leaving 1 guy back within 6 inches of Ashtaroth, so that turn 1 I can get the Massive Doom once per game ability off, and then making sure that all of my models are in coherency before obviously the start of the game. Blood Angels roundup for the movement phase. So I started off by pre-measuring out where my Death Company could go. Jack did a great job at screening out so I couldn't get within an inch. So basically, the reason why I needed to think about that first was because those Pathfinders next to those broadsides, I need to get rid of them with all of my firepower. So then that dictated my entire movement phase, didn't it, pretty much?
The Fire Warriors in front of the broadsides.
The Fire Warriors. Did I say Pathfinders?
Yes.
Yeah, so the Fire Warriors in front of the broadsides, they're the ones that we measured out. I can't land within an inch, so I need to clear them. The Death Company don't have enough shots to do it, which means that it really sort of dictated where I brought my Incursors.
It stopped you doing the actions with the Incursors as well.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So it means, because I need the firepower from the Incursors to go into that unit, it meant that it forced my golden block, which I didn't really want to move into the middle, to have to move into the middle because one of those units had to do an action. I could have done it with the Librarian, but decided actually I want the Psychic powers to get the 5+ invulnerable save and also the +1 attack. I did fail my 2 litanies for +2 charge and reroll misses, but that is what it is. I did get off the +1 to hit. The once per game, once per, +1 to hit. So the scouts move through this ruin into range of the objective. The bikes also moved around to get line of sight on those fire warriors, and then declaring a charge, most likely into those in a moment, onto those stealth suits. The other unit of scouts were in 9 at the start. I moved them forward 6 inches so they didn't advance, and now they can raise the banner on that objective there. I then brought the bikes round to get within range of the 6+ Feel No Pain banner, and I was slightly torn with the golden blob going left or in the centre, but after I made that decision to go into the middle, I just moved those units over. I've had to advance all of these units here. All of the golden units have advanced, plus all the characters have advanced, apart from Ashtorath, who's only moved 12, because obviously then he wouldn't be able to raise the banner. So Ashtorath's popped up the banner because it's infantry model, and he's not given off any auras anyway.
And your assassins put the banner up in your home field?
And the assassin's done that one in my home field, and I've made sure they're further enough apart so he's not impacting my casting, which can be a problem in this list I've found. So yeah, I'm going to get the engage. I've got the Calexis, them scouts, those scouts, and also the Death Company, as long as I survive the Overwatch. And the tactic for this turn is get stuck in there to those broadsides. Even if I can just get one model in there to just stop them from shooting, means I'm just basically dampering your fire on your turn 1. Yeah. But you've got a lot of firepower, and this whole thing could crumble. I may have made a mistake by not keeping these guys on the terrain. Probably should have, within the 6-inch aura of this banner, but it is what it is. So I have to declare a charge instead, I think. Go some charges. So anyway, that is my turn 1 movement phase, and now onto my psychic phase. Psychic phase for the Blood Angels. Now I've left my Psyker within 12 inches of my Death Company, and I'm going to try and give them a 5+ invulnerable save. So it goes off on a 6, and I've rolled a 4. So that's going to fail. So what's the minus on your guns on those broadsides?
-2 and -1.
-2. So actually I want a 5+ anyway. So do you know what? I'm not going to re-roll it.
Makes sense.
Now, sometimes the worry is, okay, I better just
jump straight in,
but I need to save my CPs. I'm starting the game with 10. I spent 2 for the Fall on Fury, which is a pre-game move. So I'm then down to 8, and I've basically gained 1, so I'm on 9 CPs. I don't want to waste it. I'm now going to cast +1 attack on that unit as well into combat. Are they going to need it though? That is the question. They're not getting any re-rolls. Or do these guys here need them, the extra attacks? No, I'll go for the Death Company.
Cool.
Well, I'll see if it goes off first. Yeah. That goes off in a 10, so that's definitely going off. You've got no way to deny have you as Tau. So +1 attack will be going on to that unit Death Company. Okay, Blood Angels, turn 1, shooting phase roundup. So the first unit I had to shoot with was these Outrider bikes, because they only had the one basically guy they could all declare shots on. So that went onto the Fire Warriors and rolled pretty well, killed all 5, didn't I?
Yeah, the unit screen on the broadsides.
Yeah, and I did have a little bit of redundancy with the Death Company, if maybe somebody didn't, but that did the job. And then the next unit was the next unit of bikes, the other Outriders, and I made sure that in the movement phase I was within 30 inches of your Pathfinders, put all of my shots over there and killed 4 out of 5, didn't I?
1 survived, yeah.
So I was hoping to kill 5 because that's going to would have put you in a really tricky position to get your deploy scramblers. Yeah. And that was the goal there. And then the other shooting phase, I just used my incursors and I killed a drone, didn't I? So
you picked up a drone, yeah.
So that was my shooting phase, but the most critical thing was that I cleared off those strike teams or Fire Warriors so I could move the Death Company in each to charge the broadsides. So when the charge phase happened, first of all the incursors went into your Pathfinders, and what I've actually done there was basically trying to bait out your supporting greater good. You didn't, obviously, so you just overwatched with the
Pathfinders themselves. Yeah.
Pathfinders themselves. You didn't do any damage to me, and I used my movement phase from that charge to actually put 3 models onto cover, and also 2 models within 6 inches of my banner, to get me a little bit of survivability.
To what I did make you -1 to hit from the Pathfinders. Yeah. Because you strung out like that, that means you have to put the second unit of incursors in to make sure they've got the kill in. And then you've also managed to string those back out as well. So at least have forced the second unit of incursors to come a bit further forward as well.
Yeah, and staying outside of that 6 inches. So again, I did exactly the same with the next unit of incursors. They made their charge. And then the Outriders made their charge into the stealth team.
Yep.
I was tempted to also declare against the drones, but I was worried I'd fail that charge, and that would be pretty big if I did. So I just declared the easy one. Ironically, rolled a 12 on my charge, so I would have made wherever. And then the Death Company went into the broadsides. I was very tempted to transhuman, and also very tempted to give them a 5+ feel no pain, but decided to save my CPs, thinking I only need 2 or 3 of those Thunderhammers to survive, and I'd be better off spending 2 CPs to keep the unit alive to get me engaged. So I didn't want to spend 3 CPs in the charge phase, so I decided to keep my CPs later on. In the end, I lost 3 to Overwatch, which I was probably expecting to lose 4, maybe 5.
Yeah, I think you rolled. I rolled under my damage, and you rolled bad on your feel no pains.
Yeah.
But 3's 3 at the end of the day. It's better than having 10 there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I just put I put the first chainsword into the one drone to get rid of him, so you couldn't take any wounds across. And then put a couple of chainsword guys onto the unit of Pathfinders, and then the rest of the attacks from the Thunderhammers went onto the broadsides, and obviously picked up those 2, didn't I?
Yeah.
And then all I just did was consolidate into that unit, ending closest to the close enemy model, and then just making sure that the goal is to force you to fall back so you can't shoot. And then also now, that also means with that unit, they're all on cover as well, and that was the intent there. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to kill all 3 of the stealth teams, but again, just piling into and consolidating into that drone squad to shut them down from shooting as well, and keeping that guy, the stealth team, locked in combat. I didn't bother wrapping because you can fly and get out of it, but I've got that scouts on this objective. So it was a good turn for me. I do get my engage on all fronts for 3 points because I am in all quarters. I did get 2 banners up. Sorry, 3 banners up this turn. I'll probably likely lose that one in the corner, but a good start from me, and I'm currently holding 4 objectives. So I don't control the one with the Death Company because you've got troops. You've got OPSEC within there. But yeah, that's pretty much my turn. I was happy with it. So Jack, it's going to be over to your turn 1. What are you thinking at the moment? Because obviously that was a good turn from me.
Yeah, you put the pressure on. You've got everything out the middle of the table. So, and I've lost a lot of my ball presence from those early units going. So I just need to prioritise on getting rid of the Death Company because they're a massive threat in my lines, and more importantly to my home objective. And then I need to look at removing some of Steve's units that are holding objectives around the board to try and force more valuable units to come and hold these objectives. So I think the plan is just to, much like you did, you removed a lot of my ball presence. I'm looking to return the favour. Yeah, and do you know what? That's the real right move from Jack there, because what a lot of people do is get really obsessed with killing the Sanguinary Guard, and I'm happy for you to do that, because that means I can use the rest of my units to win me the mission. And I think one of the things that I was very tempted to do in my turn was actually avoid the Riptides. Don't even try and go for it, and just try and cut off your legs. Try and stop you from claiming the board. And that was kind of my tactic for this turn. So I think I've done well, and I've also pushed hard enough into the middle to also deny you on the mission one. So again, I'm constantly thinking about what's Jack's secondaries, how do I deny him points, as well as trying to score as many as I can. Because you're always in that trade, aren't you, with how much do I try and deny versus how much do I try and score myself. But if I try and deny him, I'm leaving myself exposed. So that's what, would you agree with that? No, yeah, definitely. It's, I think you played it well. You surprised me how you did it, but I think my secondary with the centre board has forced your hand there.
Yeah.
Which does give me a juicy target, but I think it'd be a lot of wasted shots this turn. I think I've got better priorities to try and deal with my first turn.
In hindsight, I probably should have took the mission one.
Yeah.
And maybe even the one which is where you've got to get, investigate sites in the middle.
Yeah.
But you never know. I didn't know what Jack was going to pick. I assumed he would take Assassinate, because most people do against Blood Angels, because I've got lots of characters they want to get stuck in. I thought you might go for Engage on all fronts, and Deploy Scrambler is obviously a good one for you as well. But I didn't know you were going to take that one, so it did completely. If I would have known, I wouldn't have gone for While We Stand We Fight.
Just go.
Because then I can put my characters in, because you didn't go for Assassinate, and I also would have took the mission one. But that's exactly why you have to keep them secret until that big reveal. Anyway, on to your turn 1, mate. Best of luck.
Let's do it. So Tau turn 1 movement phase. I fell back with the Fire Warriors outside the Death Company here. I fell back with the stealth team and the gun drones back from those bikes over there. But hopefully I'm in scoring range next turn to get out there.
And you've kept them in this quarter?
Still in that quarter.
Yeah, for engaging all fronts. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. This lone pathfinder's just tucked behind this ruin back here to secure that one, and he's doing scramblers outside my deployment zone. The piranhas have moved up here onto scoring range as objective. So the plan is to remove the unit of scouts to bring down the banner at the end of the turn.
Yeah.
I've moved Shadow Sun's drones up so I can put reroll ones to hit in the shooting phase for them as well. I declared Callion at the beginning of my turn to give, on the 3 Riptides, give 4 rerolls to hit. Had to move Shadow Sun as just a little bit so she doesn't get it herself, but these 3 get all rerolls. And I've moved unit drones in this ruin, just give it a little bit of a screen. They're an inch away from the wall, just in case for any wings of fire next turn. So just being very cautious of that.
And I assume you've kept 18 inches between that drone unit and that drone unit,
yeah? To there. So that I've just made a line, a Vanguard strike line effectively, through there, so my valuable assets shouldn't get charged next turn.
Yeah, nice, good play. Really good play. Okay, on to your shooting phase then.
Yeah, let's do it. So, round up on my shooting phase and the rest of my turn. I forgot to mention in my movement phase, I overcharged all 3 Riptides, and luckily made all 6 that feel no pain, so none of them taking wounds.
Win-win.
So at least that's something. It's a good start to the turn. I then started my shooting phase with Shadow Sun, because there was 4 Death Company models visible from this angle.
Yeah.
And she's only got 4 shots. So the odds are that one of them would survive.
Yeah.
She killed 3. Perfect. The Iron Tide then shot into that unit, took them down to 1 model. So that was a good start over there. I then used the first Riptide here to use as SMS into Death Company. I also put all my marker lights into them as well. Use a stratagem to get 5, plus 1 to hit and ignoring cover. So his SMS went over top and picked up the last Death Company. His heavy burst cannon went into this unit of incursors and got rid of those. And then the other Riptide had to use his SMS to finish off that first guy who left on 1 wound because the feel no pain kicked in.
Yeah.
And then he fired his heavy burst cannon into this unit. I spent a CP to ignore cover as well, just to try and give me that extra oomph.
But
unfortunately,
I transhumed.
You transhumed, that was the thing that swung that back, so that unit survived.
The other thing as well is I was tempted to use transhuman on the Death Company, which I think a lot of people would have probably done, but knowing how much volume of shots you've got, again, I didn't think it was worth it. Because you've got so much volume of shots, you're going to clear throw those anyway. And then I'd be in a situation where they would fail morale. So then I'm having to spend another 2 CPs, even if they do survive on the off chance. Whereas I really need to keep my incursors alive to do actions for me. So that was why I chose to keep my transhuman in my pocket.
And there had been at a point where damage output would have been worth saving.
Yeah.
And then you'd been, I probably would have picked them up on Overwatch anyway. So
absolutely.
It was absolutely the right call. Keep your OBSEC alive there. Well, Piranha's moved on to here, killed off the scout, so I used Shadow Sun's drone to give them real ones to hit. They cleared those off there. That allowed me to take down Steve's banner over here and to help strengthen this quarter.
Nice. Good turn, mate. Well done. Yeah. You did exactly what you said you wanted to. So
yeah, I've cleared a lot of your ball presence now, taken off a good few number of units, so to force you, putting the pressure on you to move back out again.
Yeah, and because I obviously have my Death Company within engagement or within scoring of that deployment or the objective in your deployment zone, you weren't able to get that banner up, were you? So
I haven't got banners.
You don't have banners, of course, yeah. So you went for the mission
scramblers.
one.
My mission,
scramblers, yeah.
And my Pathfinder over here did the scramblers over there.
Cool. All right, great. So on to my turn 2 then.
Yeah, let's do it.
Blood Angels, turn 2, movement phase. So I started off by moving my bikes over towards the direction of that lone stealth suit to basically push into that quarter as much as I can, and also to get a line of sight onto the guys behind your ruin there that are currently on that objective. And the goal is to try and deny you as much as I possibly can if I can clear them off. You will be getting a cover save, but if rolls spike, if I clear them, fantastic. I put the banners up with the scouts in this corner here. They're also getting me engaged in all fronts. The Collector's Assassin is just chilling in this corner here, not really doing much at the moment, but he's just chilling as he is actually. I probably should have moved in within 9 of this edge, just to screen you out from there, so you can't come on and shoot him, but if you do, you do.
I need to do the action.
Yeah, he's doing the action anyway, yeah, of course. And then the other bikes moved across here to get as close as possible range to this this Piranha, not Pathfinder, and then also within 3 of that objective. So the banners are still up on now this one on the left, The one in the middle still is there. And then I moved the incursors forward. I was trying to work out if I could charge, but with the -2 because of the drones in there, or minus D3,
yeah.
-2 because of the area cover. Do you know what? I just gone for the unit in there. And actually, Jack kindly reminded me they were actually in there, which is really good sportsman part on your play there.
Yeah.
You didn't have to tell me that they were in there, but you did, and that's a really good sportsman thing to do, just to let your...
For gameplay purposes, that drone ability works in the charge phase.
Yeah.
So I still get the benefit of it for all these charges coming in.
Yeah.
So to be fair, it doesn't matter too much. I still get the benefit. You don't feel any hard done by when you come round to this side of the table.
Yep.
And all of a sudden we've got unit drones there. So.
And also, because obviously we're in a situation of a pandemic, you know, we want to social distance as much as we can. So when you're at the tabletop, just be mindful of that. Like, normally I'd walk all the way around the table during rounds, but I can't really do that anymore. So just having that dialogue is really good. So good sportsmanship on your play there. And then I just moved the other units to hide behind this building as much as I can, get as many models touching cover. This unit is Sanguinary Guard, the first unit that I moved. I wanted to get as many within 12 inches of this piranha as possible to shoot them. Because I want to try and kill this in the shooting phase. When the drones come out, I can charge. That's going to be the plan. These guys aren't within 12. They do have assault weapons, so I could obviously advance. I am now into the tactical doctrine, so I'm going to get an additional -1 to my AP, which is quite good. And I've got a nice little stratagem I can play with them as well, so I can reroll all wounds. So that's pretty good. And they can ignore cover. Not that that matters, but it's still quite nice. And then we're going to be going on to my my psychic phase next. So we'll move on to that now. Blood Angels, a turn 2 psychic phase. I'm going to kick off with a +1 attack onto the unit of bikes there.
Cool.
That goes off in a 7. I'm looking for 6s. They're within 12 inches. And then next up, I'm going to smite.
Yep.
I don't need the 5+ invaluable save, as we've realised from earlier. So I'm literally going to go for a smite. And I rolled a 9, so that goes through.
Yep.
D3 mortal wounds on that piranha, and that's 3 wounds. That just gives me a little bit easier job to try and get through that when it comes to the shooting phase, really. So I can guarantee myself that's dead. So that when the drones pop out, I've got an easier kill with the combat unit. So then on to my shooting phase. Blood Angels, turn 2 shooting phase. So I opened up first of all, as I said, all about to try to deny you that 5 points on the objective.
Yeah.
So we did also realise it was a bit of a squeaky bum time for you, wasn't it? Because obviously if I do well and I get the 12 shots and I wound and kill all 5, then you're not going to be able to deploy scramblers, are you?
It's going to be difficult. I have to bring my Pathfinder over here to safely make it back. So the Riptide will have to do a flanking, covering formation to bring him back in home. But thankfully, you just whiffed it, so...
Yeah, and only killed 1.
Yes.
So you are going to get your 5 points at the start of that. So it was a bit of one of those moments like, come on, if I do this, it's big. But actually it's great because it keeps a closer game, so which is good. And then the other shooting, so obviously the Sanguinary Guard, I used that stratagem and they did 8, didn't they? 8 damage to your, because they're -2.
The piranhas,
to the piranhas, and then 1 was left with a wound, so then the bikes just finished them off.
Yeah.
So that was good. Then the drones have popped out. I didn't have any other shooting to do from that point onwards, so I declared a charge with the bikes.
So these drones?
Yeah, I think I needed a 5 or a 6. I was +2, you -2, and I rolled a 3 on my charge, so they failed. And then I also declared my incursors in. We worked out, there was a little bit of jiggery pokery to make sure that they could get engaged on all fronts.
Yes, yeah.
So they managed to get all the rerolls they needed and that as well.
And you didn't consolidate.
Yes.
Because that would during our position as well. So I think it's an easy autopilot thing to do, isn't it?
Just consolidate naturally, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't always need to do that. So the other thing is, the other bikes declared on the drones and the last stealth guy. And yeah, literally I put the sergeant, because he's got more attacks, onto the 2 drones. So there's 7 attacks going onto the 2 drones. He cleared them up. Yeah. But the other 2 guys between them couldn't even kill 1 stealth boy.
I think the -1 to hit the stealth team just managed to make him survive.
And then I put 4 wounds through, and you passed 3 out of the 4 up. And that's because sometimes with the 50-50 it can spike like that. Yeah. So that's the lay of the land over there. But I'm pretty happy with that turn. I've got a banner up over here, so I've now got 3 banners up again. But obviously I can't put that banner up over there because you were on it at the start of the turn. Yeah. I am going to get my engage on all fronts for all quarters again, so there's another 3 points going down for me. So yeah, I'm in a good position still. The board is still mine, but I'm already noticing a bit of a thinness on how many units I've got left. I definitely feel the loss of the Death Company. But anyway, so we're on to your turn. You're on to your turn 2. What's your priorities going into this turn, mate?
I think it's definitely picking up the 2 bike units. Again, that's forcing the issue. The Sanguinary Guard then have to look and hold objectives, which is not what we want to do. And I will then move these drones onto here, so you have to then take them off. Ideally, I want to try and tackle that unit of scouts in that back corner, so I'm not sure if I need to bring the Riptides up to try and SMS. I've got my Fire Warriors potentially could come on and take some shots over there. Not quite sure.
You've got deployed scramblers, haven't you?
I've got scramblers, yeah. So I need to stay in your deployment zone. But if I take out these 2 bike units, you're not going to have anything to go back and go and deal with them anyway.
Yep, absolutely.
So I just need a little bit of a thing. I know for a certain the 2 bike units need to go. And then I just need to have a bit of a think about kind of getting an angle on the Sanguinary Guard, start chipping it away at them, kind of hook around this way, start going, try and open up like the librarian maybe, and weaken your central position. Because ideally I need to get on that centre point for my secondary. Yeah,
and one of the things that I was so conscientious about in my movement phase was making sure everybody, all the models are within 6 inches of that banner, so that they're all getting that 5+ feel no pain. So that's really, really important for me there, is to sort of keep that hub of just getting as much cover as possible, much feel no pains, and relying on some good old dice rolls. So yeah, anyway mate, best of luck. How many CPs are you left?
I'm going up to 10.
You're going up to 10, and I am on 7. So that's the line on the CPs. Over to your turn 2, mate.
Cool. So round up my movement phase. I fell back the stealth team away from those bikes over there, just to hold me down that quarter for engaging all fronts. I kept the Pathfinder here. He's just locking that quarter down. Hopefully later on we can move on to this objective. And I move these drones up this turn. So I'm feeding this objective. I'll keep going that every turn basically, that's why it's nice and hidden there. So they moved up to here. These gun drones have then moved up to try and create another screen to block off wings again.
Yeah, because every time you feed that unit in, I can't put that banner up.
Yeah.
So it's stopping that, because you can only do an action, or you can only put a banner up when there's not. That's really good play. I was actually tempted to use the stratagem when you fell back, but I've got only 2 guys within an inch, so I've got a 33% chance of rolling a 6, because it would be 1 mortal wound, but I just don't think it's worth it at the moment.
Not for 1 victory point.
That's it. Yeah. So, but I did consider it. But it's just, you've got to, when you're a Blood Angel player, you've got to keep your CPs.
If it had been worth it, if it would stop 2 points, I think.
Yeah, but because this unit's coming on,
you knew that was happening. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
So down here, I'd declare Cowley on again. I've got lots of targets, so let's get the reroll hits going. Try and maximise damage this turn, so then hopefully the board frees up to move out next turn. I've moved all my marker drones into here to get line of sight on this unit Sanguinary Guard holding the objective.
Yep.
And I moved the Pathfinder drones here, advanced them to have another unit on that objective there with my Fire Warriors.
Nice. And then you brought this unit of Fire Warriors and the 2 drones coming in. Yeah.
Yeah.
And these are in my quarter at the table, near the Collector's Assassin, and they're going to do an action for
you. Yeah, so the Fire Warriors are scramble, and the marker drones I've got line of sight also on the Sanguinary Guard.
Okay, yeah.
So when they come in, they're separate units. So
yeah, and it's good that they get OBSEC, right?
Yeah, the drones come with the troop choice, get their keywords, so they're OBSEC. So next turn, those drones could drop onto that objective and remove the banner.
Wow.
Cheeky.
That is dirty. The Collector's Assassin, we have to see to them. Yeah, he's going to come out and give you some anti-psychic shenanigans. You're in trouble.
Cool.
You know it. So on to your shooting phase.
Let's do it.
Are you doing any Riptides?
Oh yeah, I've overcharged all my Riptides.
Yep.
The Relic Ion's taking a 3-up invuln.
Yep.
This one has 3-up invuln and gun.
Yep.
And the middle's just got gun up.
Okay.
So I'll use the stratagem for that to get the 2 effects on this guy.
Nice. Lovely, mate. All right, well, on to your shooting phase then.
Yeah, let's do it. Cool, so my shooting phase, the rest of my turn, I got all my marker lights in and got 5 on the units Sanguinary Guard in the middle. So I was hoping to start moving on to them, but unfortunately I had to divert shots elsewhere. The Ion Tide cleared, one-shotted the unit of bikes because he's minimum 4 damage, AP4, so got 5 hits, 4 went through, cracking, so that cleared up that.
Unit dead.
Yeah. The first Riptide shot at the bikes and then he killed 1.
Yeah.
So then I had to put the second Riptide in to then clear them out to stop the heroic intervention over here to clear me off that objective. So I've done that, but then that meant I've run out of shots to then touch the Sanguinary Guard. And I was hoping to start breaking the back out of them. Had 5 marker lights lined up. So I was hoping just to chip a couple of them away. And then it was onto my charge phase. And you made a play.
I made a bit of a play. I thought it'd be rude not to. I played 1 CP and a unit of mine, any unit, can heroically intervene 6 inches. So I actually saw the scouts over here first, and I thought, oh, were they within 6 of that stealth guy? They weren't, because what I wanted to do was heroic intervene here, kill him in your turn, fall back into the building in my turn. But then I thought, okay, I can't do that. Is there anything else? And it's always a good idea to just walk around the table and check. And we measured this out here. I was within 5 inches of those drones, because you move the drones to stop the redeploy.
Yeah.
And because I thought, oh, those incursors could go. And then I saw, oh, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Sangers, put the Sangers in. They picked up the 2 drones. And I'm just doing that to gain free movement. So it allowed me to heroically intervene 6, then pile in, and then consolidate. So although I probably would bounce over here 12 inches anyway, and I can always get +2 to my charge, it just means I've got a much more likely charge to actually happen, because I can re-roll any of the dice as well. So the charge probably happens. It just means that I don't have to worry about those 2 drones now. Yeah. I don't need to put any shots at them. So it's not a huge game changer, but it certainly just helps me out, because as we know, I'm not the best at rolling, so I normally have to rely on making sure I'm within literally 2 inches away. But anyway, that's that. So you've got your deploy scramblers down with this unit.
Yeah, and that part now.
And you've got your engage all fronts for 4.
For 3, yeah.
For 4
points.
quarters for 3 points, yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice, mate. Okay, cool. And we're going now into my
turn 3.
My turn 3, yeah. Blood Angels, turn 3, movement phase. So to give you the roundup of what I did, I brought the Collector's Assassin out. He wants a bit of the action with these guys over here, so he's going to come out for a cheeky charge. Oh. I was so tempted to play defensively, but then I thought, do you know what? I'm a Blood Angel. We're going to play in pure Blood Angel spirit. I could just deny jack points, which, could be interesting, but I thought, you know what, let's go for it. So I've gone for it. It was a bold move. The Incursors advanced forward, so I've got 2 models within 3 inches of that objective. Okay, so that was the first thing. So they're OBSEC. You currently have 1 OBSEC unit on that objective and a drone unit. So I've now put my unit of Sanguinary Guard. I was umming and ahhing which way do I go with it, but I've decided if I leave my Sanguinary Guard still, that we're in the middle of the table, then I can, upon Wings of Fire, so I can pick them up for 2 CPs, put them back down again and get a 3d 6-inch charge, re-rolling any of the dice, which is more likely to happen than just moving 12 with only a 2d6. Because I still get the +2 because of Ashtaroth. So I'm on a 3d 6-inch charge, +2 re-rolling any of the dice. You will make me
-D3.
-D3, but hopefully I'll make it, and I got the CP in the pocket. Yeah. Well, I don't need the CP anyway, because I'll re-roll them for my Librarian. And then I just thought, I'm going to go in with all the characters to give me all the buffs in the world, and then hopefully keep as many of those within range of those Sanguinary Guards. So if I can tie up the most of your army, it's going to just sort of pen you in, really. Yep. The Sanguinary Guard unit over here can shoot these 2 Drone Man units. There's nothing I can do about that lone guy over there, apart from attempt a cheeky charge, depending on how well I feel like this is gone. Because I could go out with the Scouts. Yes, you could Iron Rifle him, but then obviously you're not shooting at my Sanguinary Guard. So maybe just the threat saturation is good enough to hold me in this game. So I've gone aggressive, we'll see if it pays off. So onto my now Psychic phase. Blood Angels Psychic phase. So I'm going to cast a +1 attack onto the unit right in front of me. I'm just outside of 12 inches of the front unit. Well, that I would have ideally liked, and I probably should have measured it first. However, I needed to I needed to move him first through the gap because he can't fly. So anyway, +1 attack.
Perils?
Decided to perils. It's not the double 6 though. So I take D3 more wounds. Take 2. Okay, so that's 2 wounds he's taken. But obviously it does go off. I'm outside of 6 inches to get any feel no pain. And then the next power I'm going to cast is Smite. Yep. So that'll be on those 2-man drone units. That's a 10, so that goes off. D3, 3. Okay, that makes my shooting phase a little bit easier. Blood Angel, turn 3, shooting phase roundup. So I started off with the unit Sanguinary Guard onto Shadow Sun's drones.
Yes, yeah.
And you rolled like an
tanked,
absolute beast, because he's got a 4+ incredible save, right?
So one of them's got a 4 up and a Feel No Pain. So I tanked most of them on a 4 up Invuln.
Yeah.
I tanked all of them on a 4 up Invuln. The last shot killed it.
Yeah.
And then the Sanguinary Ancient, I think, killed the other drone.
That's it,
Yeah.
And then the other unit I had a Sanguinary Guard killed the 5-man unit in cover. And then that was all my shooting.
Yeah.
Charges, I declared, the Klex Assassin did kill 2 Fire Warriors. I only declared against the drone unit because I wanted to kill it. Killed the 2 drones. So he charged in and actually kind of whiffed really. Only killed 1. And the interesting thing about him is you can't take saves against him in combat. But only made 1 wound, so only 1 drone died. The unit of scouts, I did decide to charge onto the stealth guy, the stealth suit, kept 1 model within 3 inches of that objective, killed the stealth suit. But then I also declared the unit closest to the Riptides to charge both the Riptides, which meant you can support fire with all of your...
The 3 Riptides.
The Riptides, yeah. And my thought process here, I'd like your opinion, is I thought I'll put transhuman physiology on them. That does take me down to 3 CPs, knowing that I'm going to spend 2 CPs to get the 3d 6-inch charge. So I'd be thinking if I can keep this unit alive and just tie up 2 Riptides, then they can't overwatch again. Was that the right move to do that?
Yeah, definitely. It was very close. I nearly killed them, and then.
So I had 2 left at the end of the end of your charge, end of your Overwatch phase, and I think without transhuman I'd have lost the squad.
Yeah, I think it's the right play, but if I nearly killed them anyway.
Yeah.
Which then meant I would have shot everything back at the next unit Sanguinary Guard.
Yeah.
So it's plays like that can go on the edge, and when that could have meant that you bounced completely off hit if I killed some of that other unit of Sangers.
Yeah. No, and then I made made their charge, tied up both Riptides, made the 3d 6-inch charge. I had a +2, you -2, and then, but obviously had the 3d 6. I kept as it was, made the charge in, but I moved them to one side, which meant Ashtrath could also make a charge. I actually did that in the wrong order. I should have put the Sanguinor in first to see if he could make it, but because I moved the Ashtrath in, just sillily, just in the heat of the moment, declared him first and moved him outside of 6 inches to get the +2 to Sanguinor. So although I get a +1, you made him -3, which made it really tough for the Sanguinor, so he failed it. But Ashtrath whiffed, you made all your saves on your Invuln, but then the unit then did with the Power Fists.
The 42 attacks.
Because they're getting 2 base, +2 for charging now because we're in turn 3.
And you're a Blood Angel,
So we get 2, and then I get Sanguinor, additional +1, because I left 1 within 6, and another one because of Psychic Power, so 6 attacks each. So 3 guys with...
That was 24, it was 48 attacks with Power Fists.
Yeah, I only got 3 with... So 18 went through with the Power Fists, and that was the first 3 guys out of 4, and then the rest were swords.
Okay.
But the Power Fist killed it anyway. And then I got the 6-inch consolidation, and when I consolidated, I've moved it so that ending closer to close enemy model, but making sure each of my Sanguinary Guard models are within 3 inches of a character, meaning that they're now protected. So you have to get through the unit of Sanguinary Guard, and they also tagged that Riptide. So that was kind of how I consolidated them, and obviously I've got the 2 Axemen right in the middle. So that's pretty much how the lay of the land. Yeah. So you're down a Riptide.
Yeah.
I get my engagement fronts because I left my Librarian just there within my quarter. On the right hand side, obviously you've got the Klexus over here, the Scouts over there, and the big blob over there. And I did deny you the hold on the primary because I did advance the 2 incursors through as well. So yeah, all in all, pretty decent turn. It's looking tough for you now, isn't it?
I think, destroying the Fire Warriors makes Scramblers very difficult for me now. I've got infantry here and here in these 2 quarters, and I need to do it in my deployment zone. So that's going to be near impossible, I think. So those probably 10 points down the drain, and not getting a primary again this turn is a tough one to move back from, really.
Yeah.
And I've only got 3 models that have got any damage output.
Yeah. And obviously you can pick up quite a lot of the Sanguinary Guard, and obviously if you start to pick them up, then I'm going to be struggling to keep them alive. And I've got a Collector's Assassin here with 3 wounds left. So he's a while we stand, we fight for me, which is 5 points. So you can deny me massively because I'm only on 2 objectives currently. You can take this banner off with your drones. You've got some plays. And I made a sort of error over here, didn't I, really? I should have kept him closer to the... Yeah, I expected to kill him.
Yeah, you only killed the one drone, so I managed to pull the one drone out of combat, so that one drone's free to advance on that objective, take down your banner.
And that was a really good play from you, seeing that I was closest to the...
Fire Warriors,
the
you had to consolidate that direction.
Yeah, and I couldn't even end closer to them and end within an inch, because they're obviously separated.
Yeah.
So, all in all, mate, best luck for your turn 3.
Cool. Tile, turn 3, movement phase. Pretty simple. I've got many models left on the table now. Over there, that lone marker drone advanced behind that ruin to take the banner down and take that objective. The Fire Warriors then have fallen back to make the collectors have an option to go back for that objective and go for those Fire Warriors.
And that's getting you 2 quarters as well.
Yeah, so also picking up the recon. I'll move this Pathfinder over here to hold this objective, so I'm now holding 2. I've moved the last marker drone into here, so I've got 2 units of drones there. Shadow Sun's moved to here to make the Ancient the closest model. So she's got option of the Incursors, the Ancient, or the Sanguinary Guard themselves. This Riptide's jumped over the top, fallen back. I've Nova charged him for 3 Pinvan, and I've branched Nova charge him to move 2d6 in the assault phase, so hopefully get on this objective back here and get as much distance as possible. This guy has just stay still, and he's Nova charged for 3 Pinvan, and the Ethereal's just tucked in behind him in the back corner. So shooting phase, this Riptide fell back, couldn't do it, those Fire Warriors fell back, and the marker drone in the corner. So I had Shadow Sun moved up and shot everything at the Incursor to take you off that, take the OBSEC, so that means I control this objective. And then the Relic Ion Cannon shot at the bigger unit of Sanguinary Guard of 8, killed 4 of them.
Kill 4, yeah.
So there's 4 left. Charge phase.
You thought about split firing, didn't you, with Shadow Sun?
Yeah.
And we again, this is where a little bit of Math Hammer can be quite good. We talked it through. Obviously, Shadow Sun has got to get either you need to clear me off that objective, but if you try to split fire onto the Sanguinary Ancient, I've got 4 wounds with a 2-up save. So you've got to hit and wound. I get a 6+ save.
Yeah.
Because it's -4, and then also I've got the average roll on 2d6 is 4, and then I get a 5+ feel no pain. Yeah. So I'm probably going to survive. So it's better just to kill those Incursors off and get that job done.
Yeah. And then I boost jump in 2d6, just unfortunately fell short to hold the objective. But then in the charge phase, you heroically intervened again into Shadowstone. Yeah.
So this was kind of what sealed the game. Really, was the play in which I have to end closest, I have to end closer to the closest enemy model. I can pick 1 unit for my last CP and move 6 inches. I can then heroically intervene that 6 inches, and then basically I made the move here was moving one of my Sanguinary Guard closer to Shadow Sun than when it started, but also closer then for when my piling happened to the Riptide. Yeah. Because what I'm trying to do here is, and then I also kept 1 model within 6, so I get plus from Ashtaroth to then get pluses to my piling and consolidation, which meant I picked up Shadow Sun in combat, and then in my consolidation, I then only need to put 1 model in to the Riptide, so then you can't overwatch me, which is what does most of the damage for me, because it's giving you a free turn of shooting. And then also, because you allocated the unit of the model, some of the wounds onto the drones, they died, so I now claim the objective off you, which denied you any points on the primary list. Or you just get the 5 points for that drone at the start of your next turn. So yeah, we're going to talk this through now, aren't we?
Yeah, and people say, why do you move Shadow Sun up there? I had to kill the Incursors because they're OBSEC. I couldn't just sit in the corner. I was kind of beaten up in the corner anyway, so I thought, well, let's go for it. I didn't see this play swing by here because of the additional 6 inches that came from him. Yeah. So I thought I was safe from this pile going on effect. Yeah. But unfortunately, I just managed to tag him as well. So the unfortunate consequence of I knew Shadow Sun was going to go. Yeah. But,
and that's what, I don't want to blow my own trumpet here or anything, but I've got so much experience with the Blood Angels, I don't really miss things like, I've got that stratagem, I'll save a CP for that heroic intervention because it might come up handy. And then also knowing, because all I play pretty much is combat armies, I can look at something and go, is that going to be worth, and that is a fantastic play, really. It's literally won me the game. So we're going to now talk this through, aren't we? Mm-hmm. So we don't want to waste your time. The game's pretty much concluded. So I'm going to now put the overhead on camera on, and I'm going to talk through exactly what I'm going to do. So as it stands going into my turn 4, I'm going to get 10 points on the primary because you're on 2 and I'm on 2. So I'm going to go up to, I'm currently on 54 points, and then I'm going to go up to 64 points from the primary. You're currently on 23 points. So how this is going to play out, there's such a big difference now, we may as well just talk it through to you. The Collector's Assassin moves 7 inches, and we already rolled this out earlier. I make my 5-inch charge and just go and kill this that last drone. That prevents Jack from getting 5 points on the primary. So that's gone there. I now claim my objective back. Not that. The only thing I can then do in my 5th turn is put that banner back up because end game it's going to get me an additional point. Okay. These scouts are literally just going to advance back into this ruin, just stay out of sight from anything that could possibly shoot them. And they're going to keep enough models within 3 inches of that objective. So you've only got 3. You'd have to kill more than 3 and then try and get me off that objective. Then the other thing I'm going to do here is advance, and we've already done this as well. The
Phobos
Librarian is going to advance and just get within 3 inches of this objective, just to deny you scoring, because now I can test it. So now you're not controlling any. And then over here, the simplest thing for me to do is these guys obviously have to stay there. My litanies for the extras, if they go off, it doesn't really matter. But all they're going to do now is I need to put those Sanguinary Guard over here. And all I need to do
I think you'd charge these in as well.
I would, yeah, just to maximise attacks. The Sanguinor can move over 12.
I won't be able to shoot myself out of the problem next turn because there's 2 units. He's got one really big gun that has to shoot one of the units. So I could kill one of the 4-man or 2-man, but I can't kill both in one turn.
Yeah. Ashtrath is going to advance with a +1, he's going to go 14. So he's just going to tuck inside here. So I'm basically using the benefits of the cover from that Riptide, who's a problem obviously. And then I'm going to put the 2-man unit in. So I'm still claiming this objective. And then actually what I can do is just pop. I want to keep all my auras, so I'm not going to worry about the banner, I really don't need it. The Sanguinor can just make a charge on the Ethereal, pick him up, and then the other guys can just keep him in there. So everybody's within 3 inches of the 4-man unit. Whatever damage I could do to the Riptide, great. And all I need to do is stay alive for one more turn, really, don't I? To just get me those 15 points at the end of the game. So, yeah, Jack, I mean, it was pretty rough for me going first, I think.
Yeah, I think that was unfortunately had a big impact on the game, doesn't it? And it'd be interesting to see how it switches the other way potentially when I go first.
Yeah, I think when you go first, I can't get the banners up. I can't have. Well, I won't be destroying one of your units turn 1 with the Death Company.
It's one of my heavy hitters as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So So Jack's turn 4 then. We kind of know the lay of the land over there.
The Riptide may or may not survive. It doesn't really matter. I just move this. I move my Powerfinder, keeps holding this objective. I move this Riptide over here.
Yeah.
Shoots and kills this Librarian.
Yeah, absolutely.
Takes the banner down on there.
Yeah.
And those Fire Warriors would then move and advance back towards the Collectors.
Yeah.
To try and.
How far do they move?
6 plus 11 inches.
11 inches. So you're just going to be outside of 3 from this turn.
Yeah.
Unless you've got a CP reroll, but probably not gonna.
I'd spend it because I've got nothing else. I roll a 1.
Okay.
So it doesn't really matter.
So that.
But if I could have got onto there, maybe try and put a banner. You just put. Oh no, you haven't put the banner up yet.
I mean, to put it up in turn 5.
So that means I can stop that banner because you'll have to take the action.
Yes.
So.
Because I'd have to come out and kill you.
Yes, exactly. So I'll stop a point there. Stop a point on the banner over here.
Yep.
I'm holding this, holding that. You need to hide in that corner.
Yeah, they're staying there.
Yeah, your Sanguinary Guard not going to take a charge. So that's the end of turn 4.
Yep.
And there's almost.
You are going to get another engage in all fronts.
No, he'd probably be dead.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, you've got a 3-up invuln.
Yeah.
And I've only got 2 models that can attack you, so it's very swingy.
Yeah.
I would say, knowing how many attacks I do need, I've only got axes there. Very, very swingy.
So, okay, let's say give me the 2 for engage on that.
Yeah.
So and then that's the end of my turn 4.
Yep. So you get another 2 points on that engage. You would stay in combat with me and kill with the 2-man unit.
Yeah.
As well, and then while we stand we fight, I'm going to get 15 on that because it's my turn 5.
And you just stay in here.
I then stay in combat with you, charging with everything, then I would definitely kill that Riptide in turn 5. Yeah. And then I'm going to get another, he's going to come out. Well no, actually I'd probably stay him there because he's one of my while we stand we fights.
Yeah.
So that Riptide can't kill him.
Yeah.
So he's just going to stay on that objective basically and hide because 5 points for me here is worth more than just killing that unit.
Yeah.
So he's going to stay there. The 2 guys over there are going to stay. I get another engage for another 2 points on that. So I finish, and then at the start of my turn 5, you're on 2, I'm on 3 currently. So I was getting 15. So I max out.
I'm on 3.
Oh, you're not on this one though.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So I get the 45. You get there on turn 5. Yeah. So I get 45 there, and then while we stand, we fight another 15. Banners, I'm only going to get 1 point for banner, then another one at the end of the game. Yeah. So I'm going to finish on a total of, drumroll please, 93. Yeah.
So on my turn 5, I just move those fire warriors within 3 but outside of heroic intervention range. Pull the banner down. I'll score 10 points at the beginning of my turn by holding 2. And then 3 points at the end of the game for direct assault. And
so you get 10 points for that. You didn't get your scramblers, 6 points, so you got 60 on the bottom, 25 on the top, including the battle points. So that's 11, so that is 41. Yeah, so 93 plays 41, but that's super rough game for you going first, I think, in the end. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens on VT Plus when you go first.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, get your own back, get your revenge on the Blood Angels. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. So anyway, before we move on, Jack, is there anything you're going to think about changing your list? Anything that, because this was a slight list change.
Yes, yeah. I think I quite like the composition of the army. I did have 5 CP left at the end of the game. So do I need all the CP? So I wasn't sure I wanted to split the piranhas out into 2 separate units, so I could look to make different detachments and things like that.
Could you could also put more units into reserve.
Yeah, I could put more units into reserve. Yeah, that's a good point actually. So definitely, I could have put the broadsides in reserve and bring them on as a punch later on. I quite like the feel of the army. As you said, it's the first time I've used the Pathfinders in particular. I reckon there's optimisation and better play, not just playing the list.
Yeah.
I think I could play better with this list.
Yeah.
I think there's like a few maybe deployment errors in the beginning, but we'll see when I go first. That might be a really good beneficial area to be in.
Yeah.
And was it worth to bring those Death Company in?
Yeah.
With those broadsides?
Yeah.
It forced you to be aggressive with them. So
yeah.
I definitely want to keep going with this list, give it another couple of goes and see how we get on. But no, I think it's quite well balanced.
Do you think there was any glaring mistakes you made which you thought, oh, that really cost me?
The biggest mistake in turn 3 was it?
Yeah. Was
a unit of gun drones that I moved into here. Unfortunately, left them within 6 of that Sanguinary Guard unit. If they were just outside of 6, I would have stopped the wings and may have stopped that second unit charging me on that turn, which would have kept the other Riptide alive.
I'd have had to play completely defensively.
Yeah.
I was sort of in 2 minds. Do I go aggressive? Do I go defensive?
And that was just a small lapse in judgment. And there was no need for me to push those drones so close.
Yeah.
They could have done the same job an inch and a half back.
Yeah. And there was nothing you could do about stopping the heroic intervention in your corner because when I'm that close, I've got heroic intervention range to everything. So that wasn't a mistake in the corner. That was just my good play.
I had to play with Shadow Sun to kill these incursors.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you could sit in the corner and die next turn anyway.
Yeah.
Because you're already there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was worth trying to get the kill on the board.
Yeah. I can't really see much else really. Maybe your deployment, but then again,
I don't want to sit too close in the corner.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I could deploy in this perfect little pocket where if you come at me, I'm going to kill you in Overwatch, but you can go, okay, thanks, you can stay there.
And I'm going to hide.
Yeah.
Going to hide all game, which makes for a really boring game, I think, and also boring for you guys viewing. But yeah, I'm happy with how I played. I don't think there was too many mistakes I played, really. I could have, thinking about it, heroically intervened turn 1 with the bikes into
the stealth.
the stealth team, but then I wouldn't have had the final CP at the end of the game to heroically intervene and win me the game. Yeah. So it's swings and roundabouts. I think I played transhuman at the right time and not using it when I was probably tempted to.
I think you declared both riptides, didn't you, that first unit?
Yeah.
I think if you declared one,
yeah,
just in case I did kill that first unit,
yeah,
means the other stuff that supported fire couldn't run Overwatch again.
Okay.
So if you declared the one on the end, which is the second unit charged, let the other support fire, even if I did kill that first unit, this unit could then come back in and just getting the right orders for it. So just to mitigate, I think transhuman, if you work all the control numbers and stuff, you're probably safe anyway to make the charge.
Yeah.
But I think just to double up and be a bit of redundancy in there.
Because I didn't realise you had the support system, which is reroll all hits on Overwatch, which you don't see many people take. So why have you took that in your list?
It's very much a 9th edition thing.
Yeah.
Because I can't afford to be locked down in combat, because I can't fall back and shoot. It wasn't so much an issue when you fall back and shoot, because I'll have 3 riptides surrounded by drones. I can take a hit, jump back and shoot whatever charged me. Now I need to stop them getting in there in the first place. I've switched to that support system. 5s, you're rolling everything. Does dish out a lot of damage. It did very well against this Sanguinary Guard.
Yeah.
A little bit more luck and I would have picked that unit.
It was terrifying because you haven't played Talsept in in 8th edition you weren't running Talsept where you were doing a custom, but now Overwatch against Tau, you're not really taking the things that deny Overwatch so much because it's not such a thing. So when you get Tau that Overwatch on 5s, I mean even your guys over here picking off wounds off the collect stuff, I didn't see that happening. But yeah, with reroll to hits on 5s, Overwatch is terrifying now with the quick question for you, Jack. I'm putting you on the spot here. What did you think about the terrain setup? So we've had a few listeners, they've commented and say, look, is it enough terrain? GW say you need 1 piece per 12 inches. We've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces. So we've got 8 ruins. They're all over 5 inches, so they do give obscuring. And then also we've got this kind of middle one in the centre there for the area, the crater, -2, move, advanced charge, etc. In terms of the layout, because people always ask us about terrain, what are your thoughts? Well, I'm a combat army, so the more terrain the better, but what do you think of the terrain layout?
I think this is a good amount because I can still get to shoot stuff. I think if you go any more than this, you just jump between terrain pieces all the way to my deployment zone and I can never get to see you.
Yeah.
So at least you've got to make some difficult choices when you're crossing the centre of the board, for example. You get to jump into the middle. So I did have the opportunity to shoot and have something to do. If you had much more on the table, and if you start adding all the minuses to hit terrain, all those kind of pieces as well, it becomes a really massive swing to the melee army benefit.
Yeah. And we've really thought about the firing lanes, haven't we?
Yeah, well, we've spent a lot of time measuring the distances and setting out the angles and stuff like that. So you've got to work the angles. You can't just sit still and shoot all game because that'd be boring and no one wants that. You've got to move, you've got to be dynamic.
And there are plenty of firing angles and lanes.
As you see it, I deployed with A stood still, but because of the secondary picks and that kind of stuff, you had to move out.
Yeah.
So then I got to shoot you. So I forced you to move out into the open.
Yeah. And from my perspective as a melee player, I knew I could hide a unit, but then I'm giving up a unit. So I was always in that. So that's when I need to play tactics like threat saturation, where I'm loading all my units on the turn, say, look, we're all in the open, but you don't have enough shots to kill us. Yeah. Or the other turns to be right, what can I deny you? But I always felt okay, I need to go out in the open there with the bikes. I can't deploy everything out of I can put my whole army behind this L-shaped ruin here, but then I'm out the game.
Yeah.
So yes, I could do that, and then we would have a turn 1 where you can't shoot anything, but then I have to, in my movement phase, move out to where I would have just deployed from anyway. So I feel like as a melee player, I'm forced to think, okay, I need to advance to get into the cover, but then I can't do actions, I can't charge then. So if I am advancing to get the benefits of cover, I can't do actions or do those elements. So I really need to think about how I attack. You played it really well, so every time I did make a charge, I couldn't do it from behind cover. So then you're always getting your Overwatch off on me, apart from the scouts on there, but it makes no difference. So anyway, mate, yeah, love it. In terms of my list, I'm not sure if I like the bikes. They were a new addition.
Yeah, I think they are more... their resilience off the points is better probably than the damage output and the mobility.
Yeah.
So I quite like them in your list because it doesn't mean the Sanguinary Guard have to go and do that job.
Yeah.
The Outriders are going to nip around, as they did in this game, nip and get the corners.
Yeah.
So it saves your better units having to do that role.
Yeah, I really liked the 2 units of scouts, actually. I mean, I've been running 3 units of Incursors recently.
Yeah.
But now we're taking Lord of Deceit Warlord trait. And then also, which means I can only redeploy 3 Phobos units, which is himself and then 2 others.
Yeah.
Which means the scouts now just give me a little bit, like these scouts here, MVP.
Yeah.
Just chilling on that objective.
I couldn't get there. I couldn't stop them.
So I really like the scouts. I'm not going to change that. The Collector's Assassin did nothing in this game apart from hold me at objective.
Which is put a banner up and hold the corner.
Yeah, in other matchups, you'll see when we bring the Blood Angels back against some combat armies, you'll see how he's so good.
Well, actually, that assassin got you engaged for your home quarter.
Yeah.
Put the banner up and hold that objective all game.
Yeah.
So actually, she did loads of work.
Yeah, absolutely. So Anne got me 5 points at the end of the game.
Yeah. So she raked in a few points.
Yeah. So victory points, all of them, but damage killed 2 drones.
Yeah.
But again, like you've got to think about how you're playing the mission, and it was actually probably better me keeping that than trying to go, I'll swap it out for an Eversaw because it could, get a 3d6 each charge. This is a much better play, so I'm happy with that. But you'll see the power of that model in other battle reports, I'm sure. So, Jack, thanks so much for the game. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on VT+.
Yeah.
So, again, if you want to support the channel and you want to see all the extra content, the deployment videos, the battle report, the full army review about absolutely how everything works, then that is all on VT+. And it's a great way to support the channel because we don't have a Patreon or anything like that. It's the best way to get some tactical elements and it will really, really improve your game. So anyway, guys, take care. Remember, like the video, subscribe, put that bell icon on, and then we'll see you on another video. Take care.